was a little worried when I started recording this because I thought the game was somehow muted and I didn't know how to fix it, but it turns out that that's just how this title screen is. No music, no sound effects, just ominous silence. World 1-4, the very first auto-scrolling level in the whole series. So, what exactly is forcing us to move? We're not running away from something. The level isn't coming towards us or anything. Why can't we traverse this level normally? Okay, functionally, what is the point of rooms like this? Like, yeah, to crush any intruders, but do you just never come into this room? Do you have a button to stop the ceiling from lowering? If so, why have the ceiling rise and lower? If you just kept it at the floor, I'd be screwed. While the airship's being able to fly around the world map so that we have to chase it down if you fail to beat it is a cool little feature, isn't it kind of pointless? I mean, 95% of the time, the only thing we can do is retry the airship level. We can't revisit stages once they're cleared, and the only other thing that could get in our way are the roaming enemies, if there are any left. What? Did Mario drop the magic wand on his way down? I'm glad it didn't shatter upon hitting the ground.
Greetings! If you see any ghosts, be careful. They will give chase if you turn away. I've enclosed a jewel that helps protect you. Princess Toadstool.
That looks like a paratrooper wing, not a jewel. And I mean, it doesn't really protect me, it just turns me into a flying furry. Also, how are you managing to send letters with items inside them? Who's delivering these letters? I doubt Bowser's like,
"Okay, Princess, I'll let you help Mario defeat me by giving him tips and power-ups. Just don't forget to pay your postage."
Whoa, wait. So, that's not the sun, is it? What did I do to piss you off all of a sudden? You were just chilling in the corner for a bit until I ran past the little whirlwind, and that was too much for you for some reason?
Greetings! You can stomp on your enemies using Goomba's shoe. I've enclosed a jewel that helps protect you. Princess Toadstool.
Again, that is not a jewel. That is a Lakitu cloud that allows me to skip levels. Do you mean to say that it protects me from having to play a level? Also, this is really not a good time to tell the player about Goomba's shoe. I'm only just entering World 3, and Goomba's shoe isn't introduced until World 5, and even then, it's only used in a single level. By then, I'll have completely forgotten that you said this. Whoa, what happened there? I thought World 3 was Waterland, not Invisible Land. I don't think they expected me to be able to do this.
Greetings! The white block contains magic powers that will enable you to defeat your enemies. I have enclosed a jewel that helps protect you. Princess Toadstool.
Okay, I had to look up what the hell she was talking about, because I never came across the supposed white block. It turns out that she's talking about the blocks that you can grab, the ones that start flashing once you do, and just looking at them, they don't seem to be white. They look like they're light blue with white highlights, and it's especially hard to appreciate that once they start flashing different colors. Not to mention, why are we just learning about this now? I've already learned about this through just playing the game. This isn't new information. It would have been if we were taught about this during the last letter, since the white blocks are introduced in World 3. Also, this is the first time I kind of agree with the protection jewel thing. The item we just received is a music box that puts enemies on the world maps to sleep so you don't have to fight them. The problem is, you have text on screen that you could use to describe that, and you don't, so I had no idea what the hell this thing did. I used it a couple times after I'd already cleared the enemies, not thinking there was any relation between the two, and all that happened was that the music changed, so I didn't think these did anything. Oh. It's just a regular level, but some of the things are big now. Cool, I guess. If you thought, for whatever reason, that the Hammer Brothers were too easy to get past, may I introduce you to the Sledge Brothers? Not only are they massive compared to a regular Hammer Brother, not only do they jump just as high, not only are their hammers bigger, but they also cause a quake that stuns you momentarily, making it easier for you to get hit by their hammers. Isn't that just so much fun? Behold, the raccoon suit, except it now covers more of your body. Okay, but seriously, upon first glance, why would anybody think that the Tanuki suit is any different from the raccoon suit? Literally no other power-up gives you an additional ability that's used with a different combination of button presses, so how would you find out about the statue transformation if not by complete accident? Also, fun fact, but the statue transformation is based on Japanese Jizo statues depicting Shirigarpa, a figure in Buddhism that is responsible for guiding all souls into an afterlife where they are later to be reborn. So, how exactly does that lore fit into how I can absolutely decimate enemies by falling onto them, even enemies you regularly wouldn't be able to jump on? Shirigarpa guided already deceased souls. He wasn't responsible for their deaths. So, what exactly do the magic wands do, and why exactly does each king have one? So far, I can assume that they can produce energy and transform people into anything the user wants, right? I mean, this guy was a literal dinosaur before I got here. Each of the Koopalings are responsible for stealing the magic wands and transforming the kings, but why didn't the kings use the wands to turn the Koopalings into bugs or something? Are you telling me that each one of them got ambushed and they weren't able to use their wands in time?
Greetings! The thief who stole the whistle has escaped to the east side of the sand dunes.
Hey, hold up. There's a thief? What whistle? You couldn't use this time to explain the fact that there are warp whistles in the first place? Also, it's a little fucking late to tell me this, princess. I'm about to enter World 5, and the warp whistle you're describing is back in the second world, which I can't go back to. Not to mention, that's the very last warp whistle I could have gotten, so this information is literally useless to me. In her letters to me, could the princess not have explained that the only way to use Goomba's shoe is to attack it from below and not to jump on it like you do with most enemies? Because that information would have been great to know. Oh, what? I have to play the entirety of World 5-Tower again? I didn't know that would happen. I just went back to check if there were any secrets I missed. Oh my god, I hated World 5-9. The first half of it is fine, but as soon as the fire chomp shows up, because of the auto-scrolling, the moving platforms, and it constantly moving while spitting its fire, it's way trickier to land a jump on it than it looks.
Greetings! Be careful in the ice world. The creatures trapped in the ice will come to life if warmed.
Is this the first time that we've received a letter from the princess that's actually relevant to the next world and actually well-worded? Okay, I have to admit that I really like the gimmick for World 6-5, but considering that, to the best of my memory, this is the first time that the Super Leaf is required to beat a level, not to mention that this is definitely the only time you're required to carry something while flying up to another area, it's pretty disheartening that any mistake means having to leave the area to get another Super Leaf and coming back to an area where the enemies have all respawned, meaning that you have to start the process all over again, and making a mistake like running into an enemy that you didn't know would respawn is pretty friggin' easy. You know, it's fucking ridiculous that the boos are so shy about me just looking at them. What, they have anxiety over me watching them murder me? Without a Starman, I literally cannot hurt them. They have nothing to be afraid, anxious, or shy about.
Oh, it's terrible! The king has been transformed!
I don't know, I don't think this one's so bad. The king can balance his crown on his nose now. I bet he couldn't do that before. See? Now he just looks like the Pringles guy.
Greetings! I am well. Please retrieve the magic whistle hidden in the darkness at the end of the third world.
And now you're back to saying stupid shit. Okay, first off, again, I can't go back to a previous world. Even if I had a warp whistle right now, I'm about to enter World 7. The only world I could warp to is World 8. Also, this is a wild misstatement. The warp whistle she's referring to isn't in the third world. There is no warp whistle in World 3. What she meant to say is the third level. The earliest warp whistle you can get is at the end of World 1-3, which I'm really glad you brought up, because how in the mama of Mia are you supposed to know you can do this? Why didn't Toadstool give us the hint that this was possible? You're not as well as you think you are. Is it just me, or is it kind of silly how you can't just get a frog suit in the regular underwater level? Like, this is where they'd be most useful, but you can only find them in toad houses, and even then, only if you're lucky. Hold on. I just realized, aren't those little Babam fellas from Doki Doki Mario Panic? I thought that was a dream world. What are they doing here? I know I talked about the P-Wing earlier and how it turns you into Raccoon Mario, giving you unlimited P-speed for a whole level unless you get hit, but why exactly does the P-Wing turn us into Raccoon Mario? I thought the Super Leaf did that. This might be the only instance of two very different looking items turning you into the exact same thing. Oh look, it's the Doki Doki Icarus mechanic again. This mechanic in World 7-8 sucks, because unless you have a Fire Flower, the best way to time the Piranha Plants is to despawn them by hiding their sprite off screen. Otherwise, you just have to wait, and wait, and wait for them to desync enough for you to be able to clear the jump. Whoa. That visceral reaction from the lost levels is back. Oh, hey look, it's the backwards pipe jump from World 8-4, that must be why.
Oh, it's terrible! The king has been transformed!
Are you sure? Because this world seems to mostly be inhabited by piranha plants, it would stand to reason that their king would be one. Then again, Princess Toadstool isn't a mushroom person, so you might be onto something. Well, that was fucking unfair. First of all, I didn't know you could immobilize me like the Sledge Brothers do, and second, once I found that out, your stomps were perfectly timed, so I couldn't move at all.
Yo! I kidnapped the princess while you were running around!
Oh. Was she not already kidnapped? I guess that makes her being able to send all those letters make more sense. Except, it kinda doesn't, because she knew where I'd be all those times and most of her letters made no sense. At first, I thought maybe it was because she might have been under pressure, or however she sent the letters got mixed and sent to the wrong world, but now I don't think that's true. You know, of all the silly things in this game, I don't know why being able to defeat a fireball with a hammer is just one of the things I find the silliest. Like, think about it. I tossed a hammer at a jumping fireball and it died. So, wait, does this sun not emit light? Because it's still very dark around here. I mean, the sky is pitch black. I meant to do that? You know what's so interesting to me is that Princess Toadstool, since her inception, has had blonde hair, but so far, none of the games depict her with it. I'm guessing it's a sprite color palette limitation, but you made her crown the same color as her skin. You couldn't do the same thing with her hair?
Thank you, but our princess is in another castle. Just kidding. Bye-bye.
Ha, hilarious. There are fire brothers in this game? I literally never encountered one. Is this the thief the princess was talking about? Oh, dude, pray to that statue all you want. He's still gonna fuck you up. Before we get into the manual, I just want to address the elephant in the room. With the curtain falling and certain assets looking like they're hanging in front of a backdrop and you literally exit stage right at the end of every level, this looks like a play or a stage production, right? Well, the creator of Super Mario and director for this game, Shigeru Miyamoto himself, basically confirmed this to be the case right before Super Mario Maker's release, and I just have to ask, aside from the first game, does Mario actually do anything? The Lost Levels was an alternate universe, the second game was all a dream, and this one is a performance. Which, a performance for who? You seemingly got a bunch of people involved in the production of the stage play, even the people who terrorized the Mushroom Kingdom, but is there an audience for this? It can't be the player. They would technically serve the role of director, if anything.
Ha ha ha! These are my 7 children that are going to help me take over the Mushroom World!
Whoa, hold on. Mushroom World? How is that different from the Mushroom Kingdom? There's a Mushroom Kingdom in the Mushroom World? What sense does that make? This is the Human Kingdom, part of Human World. Yeah, I would assume so! The Mushroom Kingdom forms an entrance to the Mushroom World where all is not well. Oh, so... what? The Mushroom Kingdom is just the entrance to the world? Like, I guess you're not saying Mushroom Planet, but I don't know how else I'm supposed to interpret a land that's comprised of various kingdoms. You even say that they're all from different countries. Why do you need to label the buttons on your controller graphic when the buttons on the physical controller are already labeled? That is not how you spell raccoon. You spelled it wrong again! You misspell the word raccoon every time it's mentioned in this manual! Wait, so... the castles are fortresses, and the fortresses are mini-fortresses? But wouldn't it just be easier to call them castles and fortresses? Doesn't a king live in a castle? The mini-fortresses are guarded by Boom Boom, a tough servant of Bowser. When you defeat him, you get a magic ball, and the mini-fortress tumbles to the ground, and the locked door gets unlocked. I don't have a master's in writing or anything, but what an awkward way to write these sentences. Why didn't you just make it a list? When you defeat him, comma, you get a magic ball, comma, the mini-fortress tumbles to the ground, comma, and the locked door gets unlocked. Alternatively, you could have used an adverb. Also, the locked door gets unlocked. I understand that you're now doing this in the context of what their effects are on the world map, but you've already described what some of these power-ups do. Why are we describing them again? So you might be wondering, who the f*** is Jugem, and why is this his cloud? And I would normally ask the same thing, if it wasn't for the fact that I already know the answer to that by having researched previous games. Jugem is the Japanese name for Lakitu, and I don't know how the person translating this did not know that. Something that did confuse the hell out of me was the anchor item. Much like the Fire Brothers, I never came across this in my playthrough, and it's because it's hidden behind a mechanic that is never explained anywhere. If you collect a specific number of coins in very specific levels in each world, you can get a white toad house to spawn. How are you supposed to know which levels have this mechanic and how many coins you need to collect in it? Beats the fuck out of me, but the kicker is this. You can only get the anchor item in every even-numbered world, 2, 4, and 6, while the odd-numbered worlds get you a P-Wing. If you choose continue, the game starts again from the beginning of the world that you were in. You get to keep all of your items. All clear panels go back to being action scene panels. If you have destroyed the mini-fortress, it will stay destroyed. Well, that's very nice of you, game, but it feels kind of inconsistent. Why would I need to play through all the levels again, but not the fortresses? I'm not saying I want to, I just don't get why we need to prove our worth by playing through the regular stages, but not the harder ones. If we beat the fortress, I think it stands to reason that we beat the stages before it, too. That thing is called a Rotodisc? You're telling me that that thing's name isn't Disco Waffle, the thing we somehow all collectively decided to call it as kids? Boo Diddly? That's this thing's name? Wait, no, but you're meaning to imply that Boo is his nickname, and that Diddly is his actual name. I don't like, especially given recent events, I don't like that name. Also not how you spell piranha. Did the person translating this not know animals? You've been getting this wrong since Mario 1. Sledge Brothers. The Sledge Brothers shake the earth when they jump. They also throw hammer. Well, not when they jump. It's not when they jump, it's when they land. Hey everyone, Charai5 here. Thank you so much for watching my CINEMASINS pastiche of everything wrong with Super Mario Bros. 3. Now, I have a bit of a confession to make. Much like Sonic 3, Mario 3 was my least favorite growing up. I didn't like it. I thought it was overhyped. I don't know. I think it was because I thought it was too difficult, and that's why I didn't like it. I never made it past like World 2 as a kid, and I didn't even beat it for the first time until I was an adult, and I beat it with a friend because we were playing co-op. That was the first time I ever beat it. But having now fully played the game on my own, having played it to its completion on my own, I definitely see what all the hype was about. I definitely understand what it was people saw in this game back then, because I completely agree that it is a fantastic game, especially for the time. But I would love to know what you guys think. Did you guys play this growing up? What were your opinions of it growing up? What are your opinions of it now, especially compared to the other games in the series at this point in time? I would love to hear your thoughts. On screen, you are seeing the names of the wonderful patrons and channel members who decide to contribute monthly to this channel. And if you would like to see your name alongside theirs, you can do so by hitting the link in the description or hitting the join button underneath this video. Every little bit helps, but if you don't want to or if you can't, you can also like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend you think might find this video funny or interesting. Every little free bit helps as well. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay awesome. This is Charai5, signing off.